Hey guys, it's Brennan the Paleo Dude, and welcome back to another unboxing and review video. Today we'll be taking a look at the Jurassic World Crash and Attack Ford Explorer set from the Epic Attack lineup. Now this line has been pretty elusive. There are two sets now that seem to not have hit mainstream retailers in the United States or Canada, which are the T-Rex and Raptor set, and then there's a baby T-Rex and Pachycephalosaurus set. I have not seen those in stores up here in Canada or down in the States yet, but fingers crossed they'll eventually come out because we finally seen this set hit Walmart in the States. I actually picked this up in California, and man, I was not expecting it to be this cool. Well, in terms of like vehicle detailing, that's pretty great. I know they cut corners with the coloration on the top portion, but I am glad that they still left in the coloration on the bottom, as in, like, for comparison, the bottom still has, you know, the Jurassic Park and all the camo patterning, but you see the top is all just a single color. There's no additional paint detailing, but this, I guess, would make the set more pricey, question mark. So they cut corners with that. But regardless, I actually found it on the top shelf. It wasn't on the kind of display rack. It was hiding away up top, and I noticed it. Actually had to open it to fit it into the luggage, flatten the box. But I noticed it because of this Ford official licensed product badge. The box was sitting like this, so I couldn't see the contents, but I was about to leave the store actually, and I saw that on the bottom of the box, and I'm like, hold on a minute, I recognize that. So I'm lucky I found this set, because from a few comments I have gotten on previous videos, people have been saying that they've been having a hard time finding it, and there was only 2 of these at the Walmart that I hit, so I don't think they'll be having big stock of these sets in most stores. It does take up a lot of space. It's quite wide and tall, but yeah, no, fingers crossed that it has a wider distribution along with the rest of the line before I guess it gets discontinued. But I'm glad I picked it up nonetheless. Hopefully it doesn't become the next blue Spinosaurus, because that would be quite sad. Oh, yeah, I was about to say this might be the other Explorer, but they're both number 4, so interesting. So we'll just take a look at the box real quick before we get into the figures. You got the Carnotaurus on the side, like all the Epic Attack figure boxes. We got, like, what does that look like? The Lost World kind of vibe in the back. We've got these tall redwood-esque trees. You can see the bark texture on there. And then some ferns on the ground. So it's less jungly, more kind of, what's the word? Temperate rainforest? Can't remember what that's called, but definitely the Lost World vibes in the background. Or, I don't know, Colorado, like, I guess mainland, question mark. Since Jurassic World now takes place off the islands. So on the back, you see the action feature is the Raptor can crush the Explorer by jumping on top of it. The hood flips forward and kind of caves in the roof. Crushing action, Velociraptor, 3 levels of light intensity and different sound effects. The sunroof opens, the other figures in the lineup down there, and some additional stuff like the scan code. We'll get this out of the way. So the right off the bat, of course, when this set was released, people were saying, oh, the Raptor's so massive. Mainly because they didn't get to compare it to, like, say when these figures came out, we didn't know that they were going to be massive, but this was the only figure that was compared to something else, which we did know the size of the Ford Explorer. So a lot of people were worried, is the Ford Explorer going to be tiny, or is the Raptor going to be giant? And fortunately enough, the Ford Explorer is the same size as the first one we got, and the mainline figures. So it is not shrunk. But the raptor, of course, as we all know, is quite large. I think the head's quite, I said quite twice already. The head is fairly chunky in comparison to the male raptor that we've already gotten in the lineup. You can see it's very wide in comparison. We'll do a top view too. That stood out a lot to me, but of course in terms of scale, if we get like the basic raptor next to it, this thing is a beast. Oh, I like that the eyes are the same kind of shiny green. But yeah, no, this, I'll fold this guy down so the hips are visible. Look at that. Towers over that guy. Absolutely massive. And if we compare it to a normal figure, it is still a beast. But I guess it's reasonable. There is the Hammond Collection Raptor 2 for comparison. It is big, it is chunky, like they made the tail thick, everything's thick about it. Like it's just beefed up and quite tall. So it's a little more in scale with, say, the Kenner Raptors and the Kenner figures in terms of like its size. And if anything, it scales well with them. Like, look at that, that's great. So I like that, that's pretty cool. It doesn't make it so the figure's not completely incompatible with the main line, but if anything, it also makes it compatible with the older Kenner stuff, which is pretty neat. And for the action feature, let's try it out. So we got the Jurassic World Raptor sound effects. I think my feet are a little warped on this figure. This guy has the inward pointing problem, and fortunately the rubber on the feet is not too malleable, so it had a little problem standing. It seems like it's fixed itself somehow, but nonetheless, yeah, that that was a little problem for a while, but I guess now it wants to stand. So the inside of the mouth is not painted on the roof, but of course the tongue and the teeth are, and when you close the mouth, all the teeth are hidden away. It kind of suffers from the problem where the raptor doesn't have paint on the top of the head or the back of the neck, like a lot of raptors in Mattel's latest lineups have been suffering from. I think we had a where is it? A Legacy Collection Raptor with that problem where the paint would go all the way up to the neck and then just stop at the head, and it just, I don't know. I don't really like that kind of aesthetic. It seems lazy to me that they just include it on the back, but of course they didn't include it on the tail either, so whatever. It'd just make more sense if it continued up. I mean, this is the same piece of plastic. They could have just continued the spray of paint, but whatever. Nonetheless, it is a really decent and solid raptor figure, and the brown coloration doesn't take away too much from the lack of it on the neck, because it's all kind of a similar shade of brown, so it doesn't stand out too much. And I mean, there's brown around the eye, which is nice. And of course, this figure's nails are not painted, which is whatever, because it's just like that on the Ford Explorer, where we don't have any paint on the top portion of it, but it still looks fine nonetheless. So the action feature of this set is the caving in roof. So we're going to take the raptor, and just like that, you have crushed the Ford Explorer. I think I saw in earlier, did I scuff the roof already? Oh man. Whatever. It's meant to be used. Ay. I'll have to get another one for a shelf model, because this is too much fun. Just, look at that. It's so cool. I wish Mattel made more sets like this with action features. Really love the fact that you can actually do this, not just with the Raptor, but I bet you can also do it with a Rex figure as well. I'll probably make a separate video showcasing different dinosaurs stepping on it. I guess that'd be pretty cool. But yeah, like I was saying, I remember seeing some early concept art of a set with a destroyed Explorer in it. I think maybe it was a set with Blue, like Blue's nest, but you could take the Explorer and pop it back up. Or maybe it was the tree scene or something. I'll have to dig it out somewhere. It's got to be online. But that was like 2018, 19. And I'm glad, I guess, they finally reused the concept of a crushed vehicle like this. It really, from what I remember, it really looked like this in the concept. Like the whole top part was kind of crushed in and the front was bashed like this. But yeah, no, this hood part is actually a really nice nod to the original Kenner set, which had a dino damage feature where the front of the vehicle actually came off exactly like this and kind of had like a black plastic underneath, which is really nice. It highlights like all the engine and the parts in there very well. I actually forgot to grab that one, so I'm going to be right back and just skip ahead like 30 seconds. Okay, we're back. Yeah, I'm just too lazy to cut my videos, but here is the original Kenner one. Oh, it's very dusty. Oh my goodness. But, oh man, seeing them side by side, the coloration, very neon. Oh, okay. So this hood piece, look at this. So dino damage like that kind of comes off forward. I get this on camera. It's kind of like the same sort of like on an angle too, which I really like. And I'm sure you just pull up and then pop off. There we go. So this actually just fully comes off, unlike this one, which is a part of it. But I think that's really nice that it doesn't come off. It makes it easier, like less messy. Like you don't have to put it back on every time. But you can see that black kind of undercolor of the engine and all the parts in there. It's a really nice, like, I'm pretty sure, 99% sure they would have been inspired by this. Like it totally feels like a callback or like an Easter egg. What do you call that? A reference, right, to the original set, which I really love. That is spectacular that they did that, and I bet very nostalgic to a lot of people who grew up with this, right? So let's put this back on. I have to shove this in, and then kind of pop that in. Yeah, this was one of the first Jurassic Park Kenner things that I got. How old was I? I think it was around 9 or 10. And my brother was actually into cars. He still is, but we were at a kind of like a die-cast car show, and a friend of his had a friend who was trying to find a home for their old Kenner Jurassic Park toys. So I said, oh, I'm interested, of course, being the Jurassic Park nerd I was back then even. But yeah, I ended up getting a set, this dude's childhood collection for $40. It came in like a cardboard box, and it came with both the vehicles, the Triceratops, and all of the human figures and the small dinosaur figures. So this was one of the first Jurassic Park vehicles slash toys that I actually had, and it was definitely a huge part of my childhood growing up, because I think the first Jurassic Park movie I watched was Jurassic Park 3. I was like, I don't know, 4 at the time, which was crazy, but ever since then I've been addicted to Jurassic Park, and having the original toys in being a part of my childhood, even though I didn't grow up in the 90s, was definitely like a huge thing for me, because I got to, you know, experience the beauty of them as a kid, even though I couldn't buy them in stores. And it actually sparked my interest in collecting them, because I found them so interesting and so cool. Like, the toys of the 90s were a lot more engaging, and there's a lot of like care and love put into their design and the playability. Like, it had so many fun features that we just don't have anymore in modern stuff. Even though, of course, this doesn't have anything unrealistic like a cannon sticking out of the back or whatnot, it still has fun play features like the originals, and I appreciate that Mattel's kind of looking at these older toys to get inspiration. They're including these old features in their newer lines, and I really love it. It just adds more to the toys, and of course collectors can appreciate that too, seeing as they appreciated it in their childhoods. So this is a great set. I don't mind the lack of paint on the top of the vehicle. Of course they have to, they can't put full effort into everything, or else the costs on these sets would be a lot higher than they are. But I do appreciate the play feature in this vehicle. It's very cool, and I could just do this forever. Like, super addicting and very easy just to set it back up again. There's no like complicated extra steps to it. It's just crunch, fold back up, and you can even put the human characters inside. They made sure to include that the doors don't open like on the original one, so it made it a lot easier to put the characters inside because the doors open. But this one, you don't have that, obviously, because of the action feature, so you kind of got to stick them in through the sunroof, which is completely fine. Also, there's no glass in the back here, so you can even shove characters or even dinosaurs if they fit back there. I think we can get everyone inside, question mark, if we try. Kind of have to put Ellie in sideways. There's not too much room through the sunroof, but I think we can fit 5 people inside. It's pretty snug. Put these 2 guys up front, and then kids in the back. 1, 2, and then there we go. Yep. So we have all of the characters inside, and through the sunroof, of course. There's even room in the back if you want to put additional figures, maybe even accessories. Probably wouldn't recommend that. It looks like they could get stuck under the seat or in like some of the crevices in there, because if you look on the bottom, it has all this detailing that kind of just reflects on the inside, inverted. But yeah, no, very spectacular set, and of course my favorite part of it is the action feature. Definitely would recommend getting this if you haven't already. Even if you have the original vehicle, this is very fun and definitely worth the purchase. I think it was $35, something like that, American. If this does come to Canada, or I have another opportunity to get the set again, I definitely will, because this this vehicle is going to go through hell, especially the top of it. But yeah, no, one last check on the detailing. It's a lot darker than the original. I don't know how to accurately show that. Like, the red is a lot darker, but it seems like the yellow is roughly the same. The letter, number, whatever, on the back is thicker and larger, so the lines are fatter, and they scaled it up. I'm not sure which one is more accurate though in terms of like comparing it to the movie, but of course, as much as they cut corners, the back of it still has the Explorer and the Ford on it, just like the original. And then the lights are also there. They did not skip out on the light stickering, and even on the front they have it. So it definitely fits in well with the first one, but just with the lack of color on the top portion, and of course it's just a tad bit darker. So definitely worth picking up this set. Check out your local Target to find it, or not Target, Walmart. And if you guys want, here is the barcode. If you go in and ask them to scan this, they can find it in the back if it's not on the showroom floor, or maybe find it online, question mark. So yeah, there we go. That is the Crash and Attack Ford Explorer set. I was not expecting this video to go on for 20 minutes, but for those of you who have made it to the end of the video, thank you so much for watching. Of course, if you haven't subscribed already, be sure to subscribe because I post a lot of fun content like this, and I have a long list of Jurassic figures to unbox from my trip, so be sure to check out those videos, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.